There's certain openings in chess that I very rarely find myself losing against, and one such opening is the Pirc Defense. So I figured I would make a quick video explaining my exact plan against the Pirc, and if anyone's having trouble with the opening, hopefully they can find a solution here. First, I want to discuss move order. Of course, there's a million different ways to get to the Pirc, but I wanted to shine a spotlight on the transpositions from d4 lines. Obviously, if they play d6, units go straight into the Pirc. More often though, it will transpose in from lines where you play knight c3 early. For example, if you play the Jabava system or if you play the Verisov attack. Most often the transposition you'll see is someone attempts to play the King's Indian, and we simply trick them into the Pirc Defense. Like this. This particular transposition is so powerful not only because it's pretty common, but also because usually the person you're playing against is a King's Indian player. And the vast majority, if you look at the numbers, of King's Indian players don't play the Pirc. The Pirc is a fairly rare system. So not only are you out-preparing them, but they don't even know what opening system they're playing. And as you'll see in a second, there's a trap right at the beginning that they're almost guaranteed to fall for. So starting off, of course, they play g6, and we're going to play the Byrne variation with bishop g5. There's several Byrnes in chess. This particular opening is named after Robert Byrne, who did a lot of work on this opening. He was famous for being a New York Times columnist and was one of the strongest players back in the 60s and 70s. It's worth noting black has two move order options here. They can start bishop g7 or knight f6. Which one you run into more depends on your move order. If you're transposing in from d4, you'll run into the knight f6 line more often, because we're transposing in from an Indian defense. And if you're preparing against the Pirc as an e4 player, then you should be more prepared for the bishop g7 line, because as you can see, you'll run into it a little bit more often. The most natural move to me here is h6, and you will see this a lot more at the higher level. So we'll cover it in a bit. We'll start with just bishop c7. You'll barely run into h6 if you're a beginner. So if you're against a Pirc or King's Indian player, there's a 99.9% chance you end up with this setup. And the approach I'm going to recommend here, it's absolutely game-changing in my opinion, is breaking open the center immediately. And people tend to shy away from this one because a lot of versions of Stockfish really don't like it. But I think that's unreasonable. I think practically it's a great choice, and I think Stockfish tends to underestimate any line where you sacrifice material. So what's the idea here? As you'll see, almost everyone takes here. And believe it or not, we take back, we let them capture our queen. I know it seems strange doing this as white, but trust me, we have a good reason. Here, almost everyone captures, the idea behind capturing in the first place, and we recapture with our rook. You'll notice our rook is already extremely good, and we're already up to a win rate of 64%, and we're not even at the trap yet. Here, most people will go knight g4. Again, I'm just going through the most common moves right now. I'll come back to the sidelines later. Most commonly, people play knight g4, and here, the winning move is h3. Believe it or not, the game's already over. Feel free to pause and look for the move. It's knight d5. Now, what makes this such a good trap is that it's really not obvious, and this isn't usually a knight jump that you're worried about in the Pirc or in the King's Indian. We're just relying on our greedy opponent, seeing that they're playing the black pieces, queens are off the board, and they can be a pawn up in an endgame. We'll see what happens when they capture the pawn. We swing our knight to d5. Remember not to come to b5. That is absolutely essential. Why? Because it blocks our bishop from capturing this knight, and they can defend the square. This is such a great trap, by the way, that if you look in the Blitz database, multiple grandmasters have fallen for it. Someone even got mated like this. And then mate in 2. And you will get this a lot. So yeah, as soon as they play knight g4, best case scenario, you're going to checkmate them in the first 10 or so moves. Worst case scenario, you're at least going to be up in exchange, with queens off the board. So let me teach you exactly how to play it. First, we'll get to the starting position of the Pirc Defense. By the way, if they play h6 here, we can actually simply retreat the bishop. g5 here is a very common move and it's a complete blunder. Bishop g3 gives us exactly what we want, and after bishop g7 we can stick to the same plan and just push e5, and the exact same trap still works. If they play h6 but not g5, it's still the exact same idea. Bishop g7, e5. And if they take, we take back. And once again you'll notice it is an identical trap. We're going to play h3, we're going to play knight d5, and we're going to win the game. If they start with bishop g7 instead of knight f6, we can still play bishop g5. Most often they'll transpose into our main line. And if they play h6, we ignore the engine and we retreat. Whenever they play knight f6, we're going to play e5. And we're playing for the exact same plan. G5, of course, we just retreat and once again play for the exact same thing. Most common move is knight f6 and of course e5. I believe that covers the early sidelines. Following the main line, they play bishop g7, e5. Here, the best move for black is knight fd7. And trust me, you're going to love this. This is one of the most fun lines you'll ever play in chess. You might think the move is e6, sacrificing a pawn, but no, it's actually f4. And following the most common line, they'll castle, and we play h4, allowing them to win our bishop. Most people find it obviously with h6, and here the move is h5, and here we're already winning the game. Everyone takes the bishop and we win the game like this. After f takes, we deliver the check, and we're at least getting this rook. After e6, we take, they block, we do win a recapture and get their king out, then after developing the knight to one of these squares, we've won the game. If you play this line, I promise you will get this continuation and you will feel like Bobby Fischer. Back to the starting position of our line, we'll assume they take again, we recapture, and then they keep us from trading queens with knight d7. The engine really likes this move, but I think it's garbage because we have the move e6. And after they recapture, we're immediately going to start playing for checkmate. And if they try to trade queens, it's just a better endgame for us. Just absolutely. Once again, returning to our starting position. And before I forget, I want to mention, Nd5 Trap has a really good video on this. It's a little bit old, but you can find it on his channel. And I want to say Eric Rosen has played this line some too. Just in case you finish this video and you want some more resources. We push the e-pawn, they recapture, we capture back. And now I want to cover what happens if they trade but don't fall for the trap. The good news is there's another trap that's also really good and also gets you a completely winning endgame. So if they don't fall for knight g4, which 57% of people do, they're usually going to go to d7. And here we have a really interesting move, and it's very easy to remember. We're going to play the exact same thing, it's knight d5. Knight a6 loses because we capture and check. Most people play the obvious move and capture the pawn on e5. And here the move is developing with tempo, knight f3. 84% of players will fall for the trap with bishop d6. And here the pawn's hanging, and most people will recapture hanging the check, which is the best move by the way. You'll get this endgame a lot, so feel free to study it, but I usually find it very easy to convert into a win. I think the final line with some statistical significance to cover is knight to h5. I have run into this before, it's really funny, it's just still knight d5. Again, the easiest trap to remember ever. If you're a chess player and you've had trouble with the Pirc Defense in the past, hopefully I've convinced you that it's hot garbage, and you can get some really quick, really fun, really flashy wins with this line. Do me a favor and interact with the video, leave a like, leave a comment, just to help with the algorithm, and I'm a very small channel. If you leave a comment with an opening you'd like me to cover, there's a very high chance I do it.